Dumelang, Abshain, Molweni, Goeiemorgen, Goeiedag, Goeieaand. Welcome back to the channel, and I am in a Chery Tiggo 4 Pro. This is the top of the range elite version, and never ever driven a Chery Tiggo 4, but well, here we are. Now, I'm just gonna start off, and I'm gonna tell you obviously the looks, the interior, the drive, and we're gonna wrap it up. Now, I've never been a fan of the Chery Tiggo 4, to be honest with you guys. I've never liked the way it looked. I've always felt that it's so out of touch with how their entire range is, especially in South Africa, that 7 and the 8. And this has just always been like that odd kid, but the odd kid that does really well, right? Because the odd kid has something to prove. And this does really well. I mean, in May 2024 alone, it sold 1,000 units. So you have to understand that this is essentially Chery's, the kid that they can call upon. Now, why I say I'm not a fan of the looks, it just has this weird, obviously it's a crossover SUV, so it's got this weird proportions for me that look a bit off. The daytime running lights, the positioning is a bit off for me. That Chery grille with the many silver arrows or whatever that you call it that's within the Chery grille does not look well on this car, if I can put it that way, as opposed to the 7 and the 8. And yeah, I mean, the rear looks okay-ish. You've got LED tail lamps, and sure, you also have LED, front LED headlights. But to be honest with you, I'm just not a fan of the looks. And obviously, looks are very subjective. And obviously, some of you guys do love the way it looks, and cool. And that's the exterior. You do get this really cool. So on this elite version, which is the range topping, you get this black alloys on here, which are quite cool. They do look good. And for me, that's the only thing that I can say looks good on the exterior. Then you jump inside, and it's a complete different affair. It's a great affair, The materials feel nice. You've got a massive infotainment here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. You've got a digital driver's display. You've got a really cool shifting gear knob on here, which is obviously a Chery thing to do. Obviously, shiny black materials on here, which are very fingerprint prone. And then you've got now a climate control display on here, which is touch, also very fingerprint prone. But this has been taken out from the 7s and the 8s. You'll see this. You've got a wireless charger here, 15-watt wireless charger here, and some space down here, a 12-volt socket down here as well. And then you open this leatherette wrapped and stitched armrest, and you've got tons of room in here. You've got 2 USB type A ports, and which is obviously this car has been into the market for quite a long time, and we should see obviously type C's and stuff as the Tiggo Cross that they're introducing soon comes out. If you guys were there, Festival of Motoring, you'd have seen it. The seats are comfortable. It's electrical adjustable for the driver and manually for the passengers, but they're really comfortable. There's a lot of room, and that is where I say it just triumphs in that department, whereas the exterior, not so much. The graphics on here are good enough. They show you your range, everything that you're doing. And for me, this is a better digital driver's display as opposed to the Chery Tiggo 7 and the 8s, because those are much more difficult to control. I mean, you have to go through all these entire modes, and once you change the mode, the entire display switches off for you to get to load another mode, where this is just really simple. I do like it. The interior is, this red, colors that are in here, you know, with this brushed woodish or blackish woodish thing that goes on the doors are quite cool. You've got a sunroof, not a panoramic roof, a sunroof with a manually retractable shade. And yeah, the steering wheel, flat bottomed, feels good on the hand. It's nothing to complain about really, but I understand why people buy these cars, and this is essentially one of the main reasons, because it's comfortable inside. It does what it's meant to do with no worries. You've got cup holders in the rear, a decent amount of space in the rear. You've got a decent amount of boot space as well. So kudos to them. And that's the interior. Now, on the drive, once you do get going, it's okay. When you come to a standstill, it's just, you need to learn how to apply your throttle. Otherwise, if you do it too soft, the car doesn't go anywhere. You do it too hard and there's a huge lurch that happens in front, and you're just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? As you come into, I was parking the other day in town, and obviously slow maneuvering, and I slightly gently tapped the throttle, and I didn't basically gently tap it because it lurched in front and I almost hit the car that was parked in front. So it's those little things for me. And the biggest thing, like I mentioned earlier on, is this 6-speed DCT here, meant to, save on fuel and, just give a sportier drive. And yes, it does give a sportier drive, but way too sporty. Way too sporty, like I mentioned in those, takeoffs. I have never been a fan of CVTs. So, and luckily I never drove the Tiggo 4 CVT. I'm luckily into the DCT now. And like I mentioned, there's that huge jerk that happens when you're taking off, and if you don't do it enough, then there isn't enough power for you to move. But on the highway, or when you do get speed, then it's just really smooth, and it just goes. They did say that it does improve on fuel consumption, but I'm kind of doing 8.9 liters per 100, guys. And 8.9 liters per 100 in such a car is worrisome for me. Sure, we've got maybe, quite a lot of fuel. It's less than 10,000 kilometers on this car, but I don't know if it's justifiable, to be honest. Maybe it will get lower as it goes, but yeah, I do feel that it's a bit much. 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers, and I haven't done that many kilometers either, just over 400, 500 Ks. So yeah, overall, I do think that it's a great look. No, not great looking car, sorry. That was a lie. Overall, I do think that it's a great value for money product from Chery. And it, hence it does the numbers, and hence it does what it's doing so well, because it's a great product. I can't complain. I do think, and hopefully if there's some owners who drive the DCT, please do let me know if after maybe 15,000 kilometers, if the fuel consumption has went down a bit. Because right now for me, it hasn't really done that because of the weak tests that I've had, and the car is fairly new. So I do wish that the fuel consumption can come down, and obviously I do also wish that they can kind of work on maybe remapping that throttle, because a first-time driver or a first-time owner is going to be having problems with that, and I can see it already. And it's the little things, right? Because it's very, very, very trigger happy, if I can put it that way, in terms of the throttle. And there you go. Very, very, it does give a sportier ride, and obviously DCTs are supposed to, give you a sportier ride. I mean, sure. Inside, you don't feel any road noise, you don't feel any wind noise, it's well insulated. The sound is actually amazing that comes from the speakers in here. I love that. It's not a bad thing, So I understand why they buy these things so much and why it does so well. There are little things that I don't like, the noises it makes, and all these little quirkiness that we've known from the Chinese, really, and I think we've just kind of gotten used to them. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Please do let me know what you want to see next. I appreciate you guys. We are now on almost 5,000 subscribers, and it's been an amazing journey. I can't thank you guys enough. So to another 5,000, let's take it to 10,000. I appreciate you guys so much, and I do hope that you guys can stick with me for the more foreseeable future. Don't forget to use the link in my bio, the link in my pop-up banner, the link in my description to just get a code for these cars, you know, and I think that you will enjoy it. You will save you some money, and Naked has been a really great sponsor. So major shout out to Naked for, you know, what they're doing to us creators, and obviously the people that have joined Naked and that have not had any complaints. So until next time, please keep it locked into the channel. I'll be giving away that 5,000 subscriber special soon, where somebody gets to win 5,000 Rand and, you know, some merch, etc. So please do keep your eyes glued onto my social channels. Please guys, help me grow my social media channels at I am Kumbi on Twitter, Kumbi-M on TikTok, and Kumbi-M on Instagram. Until then guys, it's been amazing. Remember, keep left and pass right. Peace out.